This time in part 3 of our trip to northern France, we'll visit some of the Normandy landing sites. When you visit Normandy, reminders of World War II are all around you. From place names to memorials and historic battlegrounds, there's an awful lot to see if you're into that sort of thing in Normandy. So today we're heading to the Cotentin Peninsula, and specifically to what would have been Utah Beach during the D-Day landings. And this was the westernmost of the zones of invasion. And on the day was assaulted by elements of the 4th Infantry Division, as well as the 70th Tank Battalion. Oh look, it's an MGB. How very British. On and around Utah Beach are a number of remnants of German positions. There's also a large museum, which stands on the spot where the first American troops landed, and depicts the 10 stages and the events of D-Day from its preparation and to its ultimate successful outcome. One thing I would say about Utah Beach is it's best to arrive early. This is a very popular site and gets extremely busy. You're a little bit geeky about tanks, aren't you?
Well, it's not, but it's like quite
A little bit. You've been, because I must presumably met one, maybe two guys in there. A bit snug, isn't it? Obviously. Funny how wherever I go I find a motorbike. The museum, however, has thousands of exhibits, of pretty much every sort, ranging from small weapons, documents and personal artefacts of the troops who took part in the invasion. But by some way the largest exhibit is dynamite. Dynamite is a B-26 Marauder, a medium bomber used by the US Army Air Force during the Second World War. And these rugged little aircraft would fly 110,000 missions during the course of the war. It is often best known by its nickname, the Black Widow. The name was coined because of the aircraft's relatively small wing area. This meant that it was difficult to fly, especially for rookies, but it was also very quick, making the plane very effective in the ground attack role. At the back of the museum is an area recreating a beach section of trenches. And in the windows outside is a preserved area of the beach which is left just as it was on D-Day. Onto Utah Beach itself. Today it looks like any other beach, but there are still remnants of the battle. Pillboxes and various other emplacements remain, although now of course much weathered and covered by decades of sand.
What, you're going down that way?
On the way back, Deb made me pull over by this bridge while she disappeared off into the distance for some reason. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, what's she been buying? She's bought like a handful of stuff, I think. Happy? What did you get? Plums.
And blackberries.
Blackberries. Mmm. Yum yum. You having it for tea?
They spoke English. She's on the chair. Oh, oui. So I said, jars. Do I take the jars as well? She goes, yeah, take them.
Cool.
They had walnuts and everything there.
Very good. Women. Is there actually a circumstance where they won't find a place to shop? Another day and another historical site. This time it's nearby Bayeux. You may remember if you saw the previous episode that we did visit the town itself. Well, today we're going to show what we saw at the museum. The World War II Battle of Bayeux involved a lot of British troops. There is a museum which tells the story of the battle, and it's just across the road from a large military graveyard, dedicated to the British and Dominion troops who fell there.
Straight across and it's up there. It is. On the left here.
There are a few armoured vehicles posted around the museum grounds. These seem strangely anachronistic in such a peaceful place.
So it could fit.
A bigger gun.
But to be fair, that's the same gun as the later Shermans, but it's just
Well, it was earlier though, wasn't it?
yeah. You know, so it goes a lot quicker for a lot cheaper.
Churchill. Crocodile. Crocodile. One of the nastiest tanks ever made. See the second little gun thing? Flamethrower.
No, it's the one, this one. That's the machine gun. The flamethrower's at the front.
Is it at the front?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, of course it was. Oh yeah.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, it looks to be off a shot.
It's off a shot, oh yeah, it says on it, but... The museum at Bayeux is not as impressive or on the same scale as the one at Utah Beach, but nevertheless tells a very personal story about the town itself, and of course the battle that was fought there and the people that died. The museum itself was opened by US President Jimmy Carter and French President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing in 1978, and currently covers around 2,000 square metres. And as well as a number of artefacts, it also shows a 25-minute film telling of the history of the battle, which alternates between French and English. For its situation in Bayeux, is a key place to visit for British visitors, as is Pegasus Bridge a few miles up the road. Originally called the Benneville Bridge, it spans the Caen Canal, and was famously taken by British airborne forces on D-Day itself. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to visit Pegasus Bridge on this trip, so this is some film that we've shot previously. Let's come back down again now. Now you may remember the last episode started with myself and Deb going out for a run. And from an historical perspective, I'm very glad that we did, because we came across this field which had actually been used as a base of operations by Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery during the Battle of Normandy. Haven't hit the road again because we're heading for the village of Lange-sur-Mer. Or to be more accurate, we're heading to a site 1 kilometre north of the village of Lange-sur-Mer. Because this morning we're heading to the site of the German coastal battery at Lange-sur-Mer. Situated on top of a cliff around 60 metres or 200 feet above the coast, the battery was a major part of Germany's Atlantic Wall fortifications, and from the coast you can just make out the remains of one of the Allies' Mulberry harbours. Bloody hell. Like a cave in there now. Look at that. Not weatherproof though. Can't really get in. You can't get on top anymore.
No, it's unsafe.
Doesn't look very safe, does it? The table's flooded.
Oh, a lot of rain, haven't we?
Yeah. To deliver charges, I think, through there. To install them next to the big explodey thing. Yeah. Should we head up on top? There's Mulberry. Right over there in the distance. That's the sections of Mulberry Harbour there. You see it?
Those little bits.
Yeah, they're not little, huge.
No,
But what they did was they were massive concrete structures with air in them, so they floated. And then when they got to film the shore, they just flooded them and they dropped to the bottom, and they could make a natural harbour. Massive guns, aren't they? Bit drier this one, and a better neck. Look at that. Even the gun positions are still there, aren't they? The seats have rotted away, but control where?
Somewhere here?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they'd have to, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you would, yeah.
Because they'd have to rotate.
They'd be loading from back here because there's a breach. You should have somebody load, you have a loading crew, and then you have an aimer. Yeah, look at that. So the shell's torn through there. It probably didn't even go off, the shell didn't. If it did, it's got a small round, it was enough. I think some of these were taken out by infantry, like tanks took them out, I think, because they're not very thick metal. The tank round would go through here easy. It looks, if it was a ship's round, you've got to feel there'd be a lot more destruction, wouldn't you? I mean, it's not good. Whoever was in here at the time did not walk away, did they? Look, it was just peeled back.
Yeah, it's taken the rivets out.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's just been popped. Because of the concussion, the air moved, just warped the whole thing. You're going to try and go up, you're going for it. You can do it! Not too high. I believe in you. This would have had probably canvas strung over it. Oh, so dignified. Go on, go on. Yeah, so you see where the attachments were? This would have had like a tent strut over it. Well, camouflage, so to make it less visible from the air. Yeah? Yeah, take this then. It's on. We've moved down the coast to Omaha Beach now. It's an incongruously pleasant place to be. I only say this in consideration of what occurred here a lifetime ago. I've visited the beach previously, and one thing that's worth noting is the steep sides around it. And it's easy to see why the Americans had so much trouble breaking out, with those steep sides providing cover and a perfect kill zone for the German defenders. The Memorial Museum at Omaha Beach takes up around 14,000 square metres, and it's not as impressive as that on Utah Beach, being considerably older and less open. But the collection of artefacts at the museum is both impressive and at times sometimes a little chilling too. As well as found artefacts, there are also some restored items which are laid out in a series of dioramas. And indeed some of these are very well thought out and presented. The museum is surprisingly popular, and on the day we arrived the queue just to get in was quite long. But while it was extremely warm outside and in the foyer, inside the museum itself it was quite pleasant. But there really were an awful lot of visitors. 88. I know it was an 88. The barrel does look a bit short, and then...
Nice, I like them that page.
Other military sites definitely worth a visit are the Airborne Museum at Saint-Mary-Église, and of course Pointe du Hoc, site of the Rangers' assault. No, I'm miserable today. Okay, so it's time for the homeward leg of our journey. Now we do visit Paris, and we'll show you this in a future video. But we didn't see anything in Paris which is relevant to this video. However, the ride home would take us through the Somme Valley. The Fête Val Memorial is a memorial to the missing of the battles of the Somme, which occurred between 1915 and 1918. In all, there are 72,337 names of the missing of the British and South African armies engraved on the walls of the memorial, including, I might add, 2 of my own relatives. Designed by Sir Edward Lutyens, the memorial was unveiled by Edward, Prince of Wales, on the 1st of August 1932. A visit to the Fetval Memorial is at the same time both humbling and mind-numbing. The sheer numbers of names on the walls completely blow you away. It's an extraordinarily moving experience. Okay, so time to make the final run to Calais. And as we drew into Calais, we spotted something interesting. A series of German emplacements that had been there since the Second World War. And we knew we'd have to check them out. It looks like a gun turned, like an anti-aircraft battery, something like that. Because that's what it could have been, it's an anti-aircraft battery here, couldn't it? I've expected to see a massive hole here for the gun. So maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, you could have brought your little bike, Tom. Practice grammar.
It needs it. Look at this thing. It's like a sort of Neolithic monolith, isn't it?
You are?
Shall we?
What's that?
It is literally pitch black.
I got it. Hold on.
Put the light on. The next morning we're up before dawn to catch the ferry back to Blighty. Watch out for part 4 of the series, in which we'll give greater detail of our journey home, including Paris and the gardens of Monet. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, thank you very much for watching.